Hey friends, we are back with another bread video talking about sourdough and the flours that we use to make our sourdough bread.
And if you're new to our channel, we are so glad that you're here. Michelle will give a link down below to a video that we discuss why we're eating bread again. We'll give you a little bit more of our background.
Yeah, and in that video, we mentioned in our journey of coming to making sourdough, we really paid close attention to the quality of flours we are using to make the bread. So before we get into the flours, Lauren and I do have two bread sitting here rising to bake later today.
Sourdough sandwich bread.
Yep, and so we're going to share with you guys the flours that we use to feed our starter to daily maintain it. We're also going to share
which I can get that too. Show you those that are new. Sourdough starter.
Yep, and we're also going to share the different flours that we've come across throughout our journey of making sourdough. And Lori and I have always been very into health things and being aware of fueling our body with the best. So when we discovered sourdough, that's amazing. It sounds great. We were timid at first, probably if you're not into it as well, because we don't make bread and we didn't really eat bread, as we mentioned in that video. For 10 plus years, we ate gluten-free. But in that journey of discovering sourdough, I discovered that you need to also be aware of the quality of flour that you're using in it. And we ended that video hinting at that we are going to consider getting our own flour mill to make our own, which we are. So future videos that will be coming, Lori and I have decided we are going to give it a go. But we also, before we took that huge investment and risk of that, we wanted to first experiment. So all these flour companies that we're going to share you really are also ones that value too good quality nutrition. A lot of them have the date when it was milled. They share all about that. They don't use chemicals on it. Some of them actually grow their own wheat themselves or work with the farmer next to them to grow the wheat. So they're very hands-on, aware. So we just wanted to pass it along. These flours might be a little bit more expensive than the ones you're going to find in the store, but the ones in the store are truly dead. And we're not going to get into the history of why that's happened. There's a lot of other people that have really gone into that. Sue Becker is one of them, and there's a lot of other ones. If you just type the history of flours and other people sharing their journey of sourdough and using freshly milled, they all share about it. So we're not going to get into all that here. We simply just want to share the brand. If you're interested in trying, and even if you don't want to make sourdough, you can use these flours in your everyday cooking to make it a step up to be even healthier for your family.
And we're not affiliate with any of these flour companies. We just have been using them for the past year, and we have just really enjoyed the quality and the flavor, and we've been learning which ones we like a lot and which ones we kind of don't use that much anymore. So that's also been kind of fun to experiment with.
Yeah, and make sure to also down the link below, we are going to give you guys our sourdough starter cheat sheet with all the different ratios that we use to feed our starter, how we maintain our starter when we're baking bread and when we're not baking bread, what do we do? And also, like when you come to make a recipe like this, our bread recipe gets 240 grams of starter, active starter in our bread. So how do you get this much to make that? And so we share in that ratio. You can quickly see, I need this much starter for my recipe. This is what I need to feed it and how long it'll sit out.
It just makes life a little bit easier, especially for us, since we like to know what we're doing, don't have to think about it. And that's just who Michelle and I are. We like to use a scale. We'd like to know how many grams of water, how many grams of flour. We know there's a lot of people out there in the sourdough world that don't use a scale, and more power to you. Michelle and I are not there yet.
Yeah.
We also just like that. So this cheat sheet has just allowed us so much freedom that we don't have to worry or stress over like, oh, we want to try this recipe. Oh, how much does it? We just kind of know what to do and we just get going.
Yeah, it's to make sourdough simple and easy for you to dive in. So make sure you check that out down below. And all the tools that Lori and I use for sourdough, from the containers to the pans we use, will all be linked down below. We have an Amazon store. Also on our website, I list a little bit more things that you can get off Amazon that we use. We plan to do also a video going over all the tools as well. But I wanted to mention that we have an Amazon store with all our sourdough things.
So it's all right there, easy for you to find all the things that Michelle and I use and love.
So let's get into it. So the very first flour that we started, it's the flour that we use to feed our starter daily and in our bread recipe, is from a company called Sunrise Flour Mill, and we use their bread flour and their whole wheat flour. We use the bread flour to feed our starter, and then we use the whole wheat mixed with an einkorn flour in our bread recipe.
Yeah,
so that is the #1 brand we use the most and that we've used the longest.
So it's the brand that
we started with.
And then we stuck with because we really liked it, but then we wanted to try in some other more ancient grains, and besides just the basic whole wheat, which has been really fun to get back into having. So the second company that we came across was Janies Mill, which is all these brown bag ones that we have here, and we like their einkorn. This is one of the bread flours that we actually use in our sourdough sandwich bread, and love it. I love the texture that it provides. I love the flavor that it provides. Another ancient grain that we tried was emmer.
Emmer, we like that one.
That had a little
Stronger
bit more flavor. So we kind of keep falling back to the einkorn. It's just more, we find more subtle, I guess, in the flavoring. And all of these my kids eat and love, and we do sprinkle in some of these other flours and other recipes, sourdough that we do make. So we're getting variety. I want to make sure my kids are getting a variety of different flours.
We've learned that each of these grains has different nutritional value to it and things like that. And obviously fermenting it also makes it more digestible and things like that. The Sunrise Flour Mill also has an all-purpose flour that we also have used, and the Janie Mills has one.
Another one that we discovered, we don't have the official bag, but right now I just cut out the bag labels and tape it to our bins for now. It's Breadtopia, and again, they have whole wheat, they have einkorn that we also use and love from them as well, and they have, again, some of those other more ancient grains and different varieties of wheat flours and stuff. So anyway, this has been another great choice of really freshly milled flours at your doorstep. Has been really nice.
Yeah, and they have quite a variety. Like they said, that they have spelt, and they have ones of high extraction if you want stuff a little bit, not so much of the grainy end and things like that. So they have a good variety. It's the newest one.
And then again, this one tells you when it's been milled, and we really appreciate
that. The Janie Mill does the same thing.
And then I have a local store up here that sells a variety of different things, but one of the things it does sell for backups is this other flour company. Again, it is artisan based, and it's a Hayden Flour Mills, and they offer different ones, but I usually get their bread flour, and sometimes they have an all-purpose.
So that's if we run out.
I run up to the store and see if they have it.
This is the only company I've ever seen sold in stores. The rest you have to buy online.
Some of them offer a different sizes, so you can order a small bag just to try it, and if you like it, then you can get more like the 5-pound bags and put them in containers, so you have it. Like Michelle and I are constantly making recipes, so we are going through flour quite a lot. So, and
the ones we use the most is the bread flour, whole wheat, einkorn, all-purpose white, and then I guess spelt. Oh, and the newest one we've been trying out, I guess, the last few months has been kamut. Or Korzen, I think is the more proper name. And the one last flour company that we've tried occasionally, there's nothing wrong with it, they just have very limited in what they offer. These other ones offer a little bit more, so you can get a lot of variety, is called, I had to look it up, Farm to Flour, and I believe we tried their all-purpose and their einkorn. Great, they didn't have anything wrong with them. Because one thing all of these companies really try to push is, even though yes, milling your own flour at home is the most nutritious you'll ever get because it's the freshest, these are the next best thing. They really try to leave all the bran intact, mill it fresh right there, not been sitting on the shelf for months like the ones in the store.
Care for the grain that you're about to be consuming.
And it really has made a huge difference in Laura and I's health. I feel better. I feel more satisfied when I eating these more nutrient grains, because I'm getting actual nutrition.
Which I notice in my kids as well. Like, they snack a lot less. When I offer some version of some type of bread or something that's been made with some of these flours, they are definitely much more satisfied, and it sustains them a lot longer throughout the day. So I've been noticing that in my kids as well, as Michelle said, even for us, like, we are so satisfied.
So if you're interested, like I said, if you're not ready to do sourdough, try these flours out though in your own baking at home, and you'll just be amazed. Like, we use it not just in bread, we use it in pancakes, muffins,
to
and
us,
things
it's
like
worth
that.
the investment for your health right now, because again, you either pay for your health now, you pay for it later in a way. And so we feel it's worth getting better quality flours, because you snack a lot less and you're getting a lot more nutrition into your body. And so God has really helped Michelle and I change our view and perspective on not just getting back into the kitchen again, but changing our view on the ingredients we use and why to use certain things. And we're really excited to go into the venture now of milling our own flours and sharing that with you guys. But these have been great starting points. These will always be backups on our shelves if something is ever needed.
So Laura, yes, as you were saying, that God has changed our view around food through this process of sourdough. It's really reminded us, Laura and I always loved being in the kitchen and creating. We used to have a bakery many years ago, and so we just always felt that learning more about God and reading the Bible and reading His Word, we're also seeing that we are all called to create, and that's all going to be different things.
Yes.
And it's also how we can glorify God by through what we create, and also learning to steward land and animals, which Lori's on our journey here of doing that. It also helps us kind of feel like we're learning that process, as we never really
And
sat
using our
with that.
hands again, like getting creative with our hands again.
Appreciate you being here and joining Lori and I in our sourdough journey. In our next video, we're going to share all the different tools that Lori and I have really grown to love and use, again, being sourdough newbies, that really have helped us kind of feel more confident in the kitchen doing sourdough. And then we are going to share with you guys the bread recipe that we make just about daily.
Yeah,
It's the number one sourdough recipe that we make. So
some days you can see here, we even double it to make 2 at one time, since my kids eat it a lot more now. And my husband on the weekends likes to have some slices of bread. We go through it quickly here, which is great, which I love. Again, Michelle and I have really enjoyed this whole journey of process and getting back in the kitchen and doing life differently with God's view on things. And so we hope you really enjoy getting involved in all these new flours too.